You know what this is out here? This bad boy is called the Asus ROG Zephyrus G14. Yes, that's a mouthful, but this is no ordinary laptop. Asus and AMD have actually collaborated to develop this laptop, and the reason for that is this is one of the first notebooks in the world to be powered by AMD's new Ryzen 9 4900HS chipset, and that chipset is a beast. On top of this notebook even gets NVIDIA's RTX 2060 discrete GPU. In total, that is epic levels of performance which could easily crush a 16-inch MacBook Pro. While doing so, it does it quite elegantly because it actually doesn't look like a beast. It's just slightly bigger than MacBook Pros of yesteryear, which were admittedly quite gorgeous. So, on paper, there are almost no weaknesses. So to say this machine has potential would be really putting it mildly. Now this is a ROG branded laptop, so obviously it's very gamer centric and it's all about performance. And of course, it is one of the first in the world to be powered by the AMD Ryzen 9 4900HS. And that's their latest CPU for notebooks, which is built on a new 7nm process. This is a screamer. On top of it, you get those NVIDIA RTX graphics. So basically, what Asus is saying that this notebook, this super compact notebook, can game like an Xbox One and also edit videos like a MacBook Pro. And still can do some more because it's not even breaking a sweat. And literally it doesn't, because it also gets 16 GB of RAM and 1 TB of storage, which is in the form of an SSD. So it's plenty fast. This is easily the fastest notebook I've tested in 2020, and it's going to have a lot of people sweating. Now this is no MacBook Air. Hell, it's not even a MacBook Pro in terms of design and aesthetics, but it is really compact for the amount of firepower it packs in, and at the same time it gets really good thermals because literally there is no throttling in performance, and it actually kind of looks really good. It's pretty cool also with this dotted design out here. Internally you even get a great keyboard. It's really comfortable to type on, and even the trackpad is really smooth. My main problem with Windows-based notebooks has been the trackpad. Well, this one is so good that I don't miss my Mac trackpad. And they've really nailed it with the hardware and design because they've kept this compact and yet really well functional. It also gets a bunch of ports. You have all types of ports, all assortment of ports out here. So dongle life is not a thing with this notebook. Now usually on gaming notebooks, the display is often compromised or it's super high-end. This is kind of a middle of the road display, which is actually a great thing because it provides you enough quality so that you can get all kinds of work done, and at the same time the display just never really overwhelms the device and is just perfectly balanced, which will be appreciated by everyone. For instance, you get a 14-inch display inside a frame that's essentially for a 13-inch display. You get options of a 2K resolution, or if you're a gamer, you can choose for a full HD resolution but a 120Hz refresh rate, which is really cool. Overall, for gaming and even creative purposes like editing photos or even video, this will suffice more than enough. And that's the great thing about this notebook. It kind of reminds me of the kind of balance that the MacBook Air defined for the industry back a decade ago. That's really saying a lot. As you can see, this is plenty thin. It's not the thinnest notebook out here, but it's still pretty thin. So that would obviously mean it is not packing a huge battery. And if you do the math, it's got that hulking processor, huge GPU. Battery life would have been really bad, right? No, you're absolutely wrong. This notebook delivers around 7 to 8 hours of battery life very easily. And if you're going to be doing heavy duty tasks like playing Gears of War or editing video on Premiere Pro, then it will last you probably around 3.5-4 hours, which is also not bad considering it doesn't throttle a lot and it gives you really high grades of performance on the go in a really compact form factor. This one is the real deal. Now, Windows is not not my favorite operating system, but the reality is that Windows is the operating system of choice for millions, if not billions of people. And Windows 10 really sings on this machine. And the reason for that is the great level of optimization, the powerful hardware, and actually lack of bloatware on this machine. Usually gaming notebooks come with a lot of bloat, and generally Windows machines also come with crapware like antivirus software, etc., which just slows down the experience from the get-go. But the good news out here is things are pretty squeaky clean out here, and it sings. As good as this laptop is, it does have a few flaws. For instance, the speakers are pretty tinny and not very loud. Even though you get stereo sound, it's not the greatest sound, and it can't hold a patch on the MacBook Pros. Similarly, it does get a plastic build. Plastic wouldn't be my first choice for a premium notebook, but on this, maybe I will bite. And last but not the least, the shocker out here is you do give away something for getting this 14-inch panel inside the frame of a 13-inch panel. And that is a webcam. Yes, in the age of work from home, you get no webcam. So you might as well buy an additional webcam or maybe use your phone as the webcam. But yeah, there's a big compromise out here. Incredibly, the Zephyrus G14 manages the really tough task of bridging great performance, epic levels of performance in a compact form factor with great battery life, and everything is done in a really ergonomic and uncompromising way. It's really that good. And we haven't seen a laptop be so balanced with everything since the MacBook Pros of the early 2010s and the earlier generations of the MacBook Air. And you know what? This now becomes the best laptop in the world for all kinds of purposes. And it's kind of a sign of winds of change, and also a sign of how the mighty have fallen. I'm looking at you, Intel. Next up, it's Apple's turn with Apple Silicon.